Hello world. On this session I'm going to be picking off where I left off on the first topic, which was ungraceful aging, and on this one I'm going to be discussing the different types of body sizes. And to get this out on the table, that this is not an attack against any group of people or any group of body sizes or shapes. This is more of a clarification in addressing the issue of the misleading and the distortion of body size and image. Want to get out the different classifications of these. Supposedly you have the curvaceous, the voluptuous, the thin, the slender, the a few extra pounds, the average, the big boned, the full figured. And a lot of these are similar to each other in their own right. I'm going to be grouping the full figured, the voluptuous, the curvaceous as one. Big boned is the gray area that I'm going to try to discuss. The thin and slender, that should be understood. I guess unless you want to really break it down and say that thin is really nothing but skin and bones, and the slender is the one that's the hourglass shape figure. So slender and thin and hourglass, I'm going to group that into one. And then there's the average, the a few pounds, there's the a few extra pounds, and then the no, just those two. Now, one classification that I want to bring in, that this is what I call it, and I call it the log shape, L-O-G, log, because the log is pretty much one size from top to bottom. There's really no shape, no curves, not necessarily a bad thing, just the shape that I feel accurately that describes this classification. So from there, the only group or the issues that I mainly have an issue with is the voluptuous and then the big boned, since the voluptuous entails the full figured, the curvaceous aspect as well. And according to, I guess, my understanding, my connotations, and my interpretations and context of voluptuous and to be desirable is, or at least that's Webster's definition of voluptuous, is any shape that is desirable. And of course, being desirable is in the eye of the beholder. So there's a lot of, I guess, leadway or different perspective and different points that we could go on with that. But like I said, according from my perspective and my context, the voluptuous entails the full figured and the curvaceous, and that is supposedly with the understood mindset or the frame set that the body frame itself is that of the slender, of the hour shaped glass figure that is desirable in most men or in the stereotype's eyes. And from there, that's also including the bust, waist, and hips that are fully accentuated. It really fills the figures. So from there, it's having all the curves, having the supposedly the hourglass shaped figure to drive men mad, and that's the context of voluptuous. As far as the issue of big boned, again, my context and connotation is that it is the bigger sister of voluptuous, in the sense that big boned is still where the woman is thicker uh, all around everywhere, so she still has that distinct hourglass shaped figure. All of her curves and sizes are in proportion. Uh, but it's just that compared to the voluptuous, she is thicker and a bit larger, but still by no means it's a 1-to-1 ratio of proportions. I've noticed that a lot of big girls like to call themselves big boned when they supposedly really have no shapes or no curves. And from there, I just think that's a wrong misrepresentation of that. And then, as far as getting into the logs and the average category, this is where I feel that most people today in the States, in the Western society, is at, due to the fact that the nation more and more is obese, and the new average when they say body size is obese, because over half the nation's population, 60% to 70% or more, is obese, and there's quite a few percentage of that that's in the morbidly obese range. So when these days the connotation to say that someone gives the description of my body size, I'm average, as much as we don't like to accept it, that pretty much means I'm obese. Uh, so that's where that comes in. But again, as far as the logs, that's pretty much, she doesn't have the distinct, supposedly slim waist and the hips, and the hips and the bust aren't accentuated. And again, that's where the logs come in. So for the most part, I just feel that a lot of the people these days are in that category. And again, this is not to say that this is an attack against obese people or people with no shapes or sizes. But if you're going to go through and tell other people what type of size that you are, please don't try to distort it or to give an image that is most likely supposedly incorrect, uh, because I think in the end it's only going to go through and bite you right back in the ass if you meet someone online, or if you talk to someone on the phone and you haven't met, and you say that I'm a thick girl, I'm a big boned girl, I'm a full figured, I'm a voluptuous, something along those lines, and your idea of what those meaning are and what his ideas of those are, someone, some party is going to be highly disappointed in their expectations. So that's just where I'm coming off from that. But again, whatever size that you are, uh, be proud of whatever size that you are. And if you're not content with your size, the choice is up to you to go through and to change that aspect of that. So hopefully, maybe I was able to clarify, maybe not, but the underlying issue again was that the distorted, the misrepresentation of that, and I just felt that that's kind of on the lines of lying and being dishonest. And the only reason that I'm making a video of that is because personally, my personal beliefs, I hate being lied to. Uh, I hate dishonesty. I hate misrepresentation of the truth or distortion of the truth. Uh, so that's pretty much where I'm coming from in trying to, I guess, clarify that. So